Now that it's been a few weeks and some grand opens have come and gone, it's time to take a look at what decks are winning in Set 3 format. With the nerfing of pterosaurs, I figured that Red's only chance to stay competitive was with Nova Control style of decks. Turns out that with the rise and comeback of Yellow at the Utrecht Grand Open, Red is able to take advantage of this new meta with a more aggressive / mid-range style of deck. And take advantage of it did. At the Pasadena Grand Open, Red took first place with this deck starring Apollo Dinos and Dragno King. Apollo Dinos in conjunction with Ritual Fire make for a really effective duo. With the presence of Ritual Fire to take care of smaller spirits, it makes the other player want to make their spirits a little bigger to avoid that, which is where Apollo Dinos comes in. With the help of Volcanic Canyon, Apollo Dinos can kill anything from 5k to 8k BP. And with a lot of green and yellow decks that rely on their nexuses, Red is also equipped with a lot of nexus removal in Burning Force and Andromeda. But this isn't the only Red deck to find success. Making top 4 was this Red list that features the new X-Rare from Set 3 Trident Dragon. While its level 3 removal effect is decent, it turns out that its core recovery effect is pretty good. Depending on how many sanctuaries you're able to put on the field, you can get back a number of cores to use on the defensive for things like Burning Forces, Dream Bombs, or Volcanic Break. It's reminiscent of Mothership in that sense. It'll be interesting to see whether Trident Dragon or Apollo Dinos will see more success. I'm more inclined to lean towards Apollo Dinos, but I'm prepared to be wrong. Again. See how snake-like I can be. Purple had a more modest showing, but it's nothing to underplay. Purple is still good, and it proved that with a second place finish at Pasadena with this pretty standard core control list. The one improvement from Set 3 and the biggest surprise to me is the inclusion of Costume Artist. Turns out having a nemesis-like effect on a small curse spirit is pretty good, especially in conjunction with Aglovale, Lamorak, and Rotting Swamp. Otherwise, this is Purple doing its usual purple things, with the Baculus Curse Dragon combo to top it off. There was also this interesting Serpent list that got top 8 at Utrecht, with the new inclusions of Shazsnake, Bodis, and Viper Dragon. These serpents with Curse become a lot more annoying, and the combination of Viper Dragon and Medu can instantly win a game if not stopped by a Dream Bomb or Ice Shield. Again, it goes to show people that you can never discount Purple. I figured Genbu would give Fabled Beasts a boost, but I didn't think it would be this good. After Yellow won the second Pro Tour at the tail end of Set 2 format, Yellow was a prime candidate to counter the boogeyman of Set 3, that is Green Gale. Which is why Yellow overperformed at the Utrecht Grand Open with 6 of the top 8, with 1st, 3rd, and 7th being taken by this exact deck list. You'll notice the absence of the 2-cost spirits like Freestall. With the advent of Floodstream into the game, it's better to just max out on the 3 and 4-cost spirits of Carbulk, Hippo, Hex, and Crocodile to minimize the effectiveness of Floodstream. But even putting that aside, it turns out making the Blessed Spirits unblockable with Genbu is insane, and getting 2 Genbus out to make each other unblockable makes it more resistant to the common removal cards. Add the draw power of the Nexuses and Arcana Knight Hex, and you have a recipe for a very scary deck. And that's not even the only yellow archetype topping. In Pasadena, this Michaela Luster deck made top 8, and a very similar list took 2nd place at the Liverpool Grand Open. If you thought Exhaust Nexus was insane already, the new card Flagellum makes it into a nightmare that reduces the opponent's spirits for 5k, while getting the Exhaust Nexus back with Luster. and putting her at level 3 makes it very difficult to remove her during the attack step without Dream Bomb, and even then it doesn't feel great. Flagellum is so good, in fact, that Genbu decks have started to include her, and one made it to top 4 at Pasadena. So yes, yellow is back, and it's arguably better than it's ever been. Thank you, Liverpool Grand Open, for saving this color. Before the Grand Open in Liverpool, not a single white deck made top cut. Now we have 2 different decks that made top 8 in the Liverpool Grand Open. First, we have this white control deck. With the loss of Axe Spider, we have Sheriff Eagle to fill in the void. Emperador is here for the Genbu matchup, but what's most interesting to me is the inclusion of Volcanic Canyon alongside a suite of red spells, including Feral Slash and 4 copies of Burning Force. With the rise of yellow and green, it makes sense to include a lot of Nexus hate. The second white deck is a lot more interesting. White mid-range. With the new Valkyrie Hilder, white has a lot of tools to play aggressively. Unlike white aggro that wants to end the game as fast as possible, this deck is more about tempo and putting consistent pressure on the opponent with the help of the 2 Valkyries and the unblockable spirits of Arcana Joker and Dermdyna. Green was the color that people were most scared about going into set 3 meta, which is why at the first Grand Open in Utrecht, everybody played yellow, and only one green deck was able to break into top 8 with a 4th place finish. Aside from the random copy of Smag, this is pretty much what I expected out of green post Aquatic Invaders. Highlands is a crazy good nexus if played uncontested. Being able to ramp cores just for playing the game is exactly what green should be doing. We also have Forest Guardian as another way to ramp that doubles as a nice defensive spirit to help survive the turns before the big gale pushes. And then the Grand Open in Liverpool happened, and Green Gale finally got a 1st place finish with a modified version of the deck. The main changes here are the addition of the Porcupine and Dragonaga Assassin. Porcupine is here because it's a vanilla spirit with a decent enough stat line that can block Genbu's unblockable yellow spirits. A little more interesting is this Zigworm deck that made top 8 at the Grand Open in Pasadena that includes a Gale package. Since green doesn't like yellow so much, why not just play a red deck that just happens to have birds in it? It's a cool idea that I expect will be tested more in the coming months. It's going to be interesting how green will do from here now that it's won a Grand Open. I don't think Gale is going to be as dominant as people feared it to be a month ago, but it's certainly not a deck to ignore.
That's right, we bad, huh?
Blue is arguably the worst color in the game right now. No blue decks topped. There was only one blue deck that bubbled in Utrecht with a 4-2 record. It's a mill deck that has Allegro and Mandala as late game. I will note the playset of Rock Pillar Aquapolis, mostly because I thought this was the one Nexus that wouldn't get played. Yet another tally to the number of cards I was wrong about. Regardless, it seems Blue's mill strategy is just not good enough right now. Despite the insane spirits in Mandala and Allegro, Blue suffers from getting to a point where the spirits are good. Red has all of the Nexus removal and aggressiveness, and Yellow goes over the top with unblockable spirits that heal life. It could also be that players just don't believe in Blue right now as a competitive strategy to take to Grand Opens, so they choose to play other decks. Time will tell if Blue will be improved upon or left at the bottom of the sea of unplayables. To sum it all up, red and yellow are the colors to watch out for. Green was underperforming before it finally got a win at Liverpool. Blue flopped. Purple is still good because it's purple, and white is hanging on for dear life. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more Battle Spirits Saga content. Until next time, laters.